We have a project now where we're actually working with parents about how do you talk to your children about race, because that is incredibly stressful. And the trauma that they have had, which comes out in parenting, to be able to isolate those. Dr. Rihanna Anderson is running that project. It's called Embrace. Is very important to prepare parents to navigate to a school that might not appreciate them, and to be able to react, to not underreact to those moments, pretend I don't see those elephants, or overreact to them, are reflective of coping for their children. And so in many respects, the trauma is in multiple places, as you described. And I think our hope is that educators can learn to get that cultural frame. But my argument is you do need to prepare families in case you go to school where they don't have that cultural frame. You know, it's a lot of sand. If you think it's a beach when it's a desert, you're at risk. But you can get to a desert. You just have to see it as a desert. And those are the kind of ways you hope educators can get it. But if they don't, you prepare your children and yourself in case they don't.
You know, when we talk about parent-teacher communication, it is such a challenging thing for so many teachers. And when you look at teacher prep programs, they don't get any training in it at all. No training at all on how do you talk to parents? What do you say to parents? And when you're basically talking about parents, many of our parents, school was not a fulfilling place for them to be. They didn't enjoy being there. They didn't really feel like their needs were met there. And who is it that they need to talk to at school? They need to talk to teachers. And who are teachers? Teachers are people whose needs were so met at school, they couldn't wait to get back in. 4 years later, they're right back exactly to this place that they loved so much. And now we have to rely on these parents and these teachers being able to find some kind of communication center that they can talk around regarding their child. And then when you layer on top of that all the challenges of talking about race too, it is just overwhelmingly difficult unless we can provide some kind of support to these teachers in order to how to effectively communicate to parents.
One thing that's really critical in the 0 to 5 range is to recognize a level of intimacy that actually needs to happen between teachers and parents. And so to Walter's point and to Howard's point, Walter's point about having the tools to have those intimate discussions is a really important piece. So when parents come into our program, we ask them, we invite them, it's not a required, we invite them to fill out something called a stressors checklist. And it's a list of over 50 things that have happened to them in their lives that would then help us identify their lenses, their triggers, their elements, and how it impacts their child. It's everything from racial trauma to I've been incarcerated to I'm dyslexic. I mean, it's really everything on that list. And that gives us an insight, but it's a leap of faith, right? I mean, we're asking parents to take this leap of faith with us. And so that is where that ability to enter into those dialogues and relationship is the most critical piece. But if we don't do better at this, we are missing an opportunity to be intimate with parents at a time in their children's life that is most critical. And it sets a foundation for the rest of the relationship.